Hello all. So welcome back to Learning Partner. So in the last episode, we have discussed like how you should prepare for the Angular interview, like what are the topics you need to focus if you are a fresher or an experienced, correct? So if you have not watched that, please go to watch that. Now this video, once you clear the basic interview, let's say any company will at least take a first interview where they will focus on the theoretical part. Correct. After that, in the next round, they will ask you to complete or work on a machine test or some example they will provide, whatever it can be that we are going to discuss. Then we have the managerial round where again, based on the scenario based example or talk about your work and that things will be there. Or some company won't take it. Once you clear the machine round, they will directly proceed with the HR interview. It's company to company. We can't be sure like what company, what method they will apply. But in almost every case, after theoretical round, we have to go for the machine round, correct? So either you call as a machine test round or a coding, whatever you can tell. Now, so there are multiple ways based on that. Normally, these are all the scenarios which I got from you guys only. Most of the guys who are watching my videos, they send me the machine test example also, like I'm facing this issue in this machine test. How should I approach this? Just like that. So I have got so many machine test example with me. If anyone is looking for them, you can just ping me. I will provide you the PDFs they normally provide me. Okay. Now, coming back to our main scenario, like what we have to discuss today. So, like what kind of machine tests are there? So, if you see, first like CRUD app, obviously anyone in Angular app, we are not going in using Angular, we are not going to design a website. That is not the purpose of Angular, correct? It's application or a software we are going to develop. So, like that, some scenarios are there. So, first is like if you are a fresher, they won't expect that much, but a basic CRUD operation application they will be expecting. Now in CRUD application also, either you can use a model popup to design the UI or for new record, you can use a separate component or a side panel also. This also I have explained in some videos. Now, so CRUD operation. If that company provides you the API, well and good. But if they don't provide you the API, they will simply ask you like create a student registration app and store the data in the local storage. So you should be familiar like how do you do the CRUD operation with API. One more thing, you might know like when we practice or we do most of the things we copy paste something, but try to avoid that because some machine test in some companies will ask you to share your screen and they want you to do in front of them, some companies. But some companies will provide you the machine test in a PDF or over the mail and they will ask you to complete in 1 or 2 days, then you are fine. But if they ask you to, if it's a small machine test, just a normal current operation, they will ask you to share the screen and someone might be watching it. So that time you can't copy paste, right? So try to make a habit to write the basic code by your own, just like an API call, subscribe call, whatever for loop and everything. Okay. Now, so you should be good with CRUD operation. You should always make a example with CRUD operation with local storage. How do we do the same operation with local storage? This is one scenario. Someone will ask you like do the CRUD operation, but not with the local storage, but with the JSON file. So what we do, we create the various JSON file in API and using HTTP client only, we call that JSON file. So we use HTTP client API to make the API call, but we are not pointing to the actual API. We are actually reading the data from the asset folder. Okay. So this is that example with JSON file. Third, if they provide the API, well and good. So some companies will provide their API like yeah, these are the APIs you can use it to complete your CRUD operation, or they will ask you to use some pre API. Just like I know, like JSON placeholder API is there. Then mock server API is also so many, just like mock server API, just like this placeholder mock APIs are there. They will provide you. Okay. So this is just a normal way, the CRUD operation. Now, next comes like scenario based, like what type of scenario, like which type of application they will ask you. So registration app. When we say registration app, it can be an employee registration, student registration, vehicle renting app. Scenario can be anything. It will be a single form where some different fields will be there. You need to register, and that field, once you fill the form, that you need to display it in the list page, and you need to do the edit and the operation. Basic CRUD operation. Just a scenarios I'm telling you, like employee, student, vehicle. It can be anything. Correct? Field or the scenario or page scenario will be changed, but basic operation is like you just need to create a form where you can insert the data in the table or in the card view. You have to show the data, edit, and the delete thing also. Okay. Apart, once we are done with the registration, next comes with the e-commerce. This is like everyone is trying to focus now, because in e-commerce application you get to implement so many things. So they won't obviously ask you to design a complete whole application, e-commerce application, because obviously in e-commerce application we have so many things. We cannot complete that as a machine test. Otherwise, it will be a project we are actually completing for them. But the basic thing, like we should be able to display the products. Product will have the images. They will provide the API, obviously. Okay, you don't have to search for the API. You can ask them API, or they will ask you to do the same thing with creating JSON file. So you need to show the product listing. There should be a functionality of add to cart and a order placement. Basic thing, not in a detail, but the basic thing you should be aware that whatever the basic thing we know from a e-commerce application perspective, that we should implement. Second thing is payment gateway. Obviously, payment gateway we cannot implement because we are not able, we don't have the GST and everything. We, as a normal developer, we cannot register on any payment gateway and get it. But up to a certain level, we can at least, let's say we consider Paytm or Razorpay or any payment gateway, we can register, okay, and we can use their free, test version. In their payment gateway pop-up will come. We don't have to add actual our account number and anything. If we register, we can use their payment gateway and with the test account, everything. So that actually at least have a knowledge like how it is implemented. It's not that hard, but you can implement it. Okay. So payment gateway, it's kind of very advanced. Most of, let's say, 90%, no one will ask you. But if your luck is not at the right place, you might end up with a machine test with payment gateway. Okay. But this e-commerce app, you anyhow you have to do it. Now in e-commerce app, it can be a big basket also, Amazon, Flipkart, or even Zomato kind of application also, food order application also. That also comes in the e-commerce only, because there also we add to cart what food items I need. Food order system, just like Zomato or Swiggy, right? Next, booking app. So e-commerce application is have booking kind of application where they will ask you like to create an event booking application, movie booking application, recall resort booking, train booking, bus ticket booking. This kind of scenarios they will ask you. Okay. Again, it's just a basic CRUD application, just scenarios are there, nothing else. Basic CRUD application is only we are doing. Then learning app. So learning app is kind of a tricky one. Learning app has been just like Udemy, right? What do we get in a Udemy? They have courses. If we register for any course, we get to see many videos. If we can play it, we can track a keep of the record, like which video got played or which video got not played, just like that. Okay. So again, this you can implement with YouTube videos. Obviously, you don't have any videos, so you can use the YouTube videos. Just create a JSON file where some courses are there with YouTube video URL, and that you can do it. Or just like that, whatever I have told you, like consider your database, same thing. Whenever we design a online learning app or online course app, we have to ask users to register. Then we need to display the courses they have. Then inside each course, we will have videos also. Correct. So after online course, dynamic website, just like a CMS website, content management site. Okay. So content management site, as in, this website, like website, we normally don't do it dynamic. But let's say you have a website where whatever the content you are able to see in the website, that is coming from API side. Everything is dynamic, correct? So that kind of website you should at least have an example ready. Then rich text editor. This is not a scenario or something else. You might have seen rich text editor. Let me just show you. So there are so many libraries by which we can use rich text editor. Just an example I'm showing you. Like this. You get bold, italic, right? Everything you get it. This is rich text editor. So in Angular, there are certain libraries which by using those we can implement. So one library is CK editor, PrimeNG has also the editor, Tiny MSC is also an editor, and GX editor is also there. So these are the libraries which we can use to implement the rich text editor. Again, it's not a concept, but just to check the knowledge. Let's say a company is there and a project is there where they are using rich text editor very widely. So they might create a machine test where they will ask you to implement the rich text editor. Okay. So rich text editor, you should know like how do we implement the rich text editor. It's not very big concept, just a small library. It is there. We just have to use it. Okay. So these are very normal scenario based tasks you might be facing. After that, let's come to some advanced scenarios. So when I say advanced scenarios, na, it will include external libraries which we have to use or some time taking scenarios we have to implement. So first is drag and drop. When we say drag and drop, so everyone now, if you don't know like what is Jira, please try to understand what is Jira, what is Agile. So in Jira, we have board, right? So we can drag and drop the tickets by simply clicking and drag and drop. Okay, drag and drop. Let me show you if you are not clear. Drag and drop in Angular. So there are so many libraries, including material, NGX drag drop is also there. So this like this, or here you can see this is drag and drop. So in material, it has very easy thing to do. Okay, just like this. Let me see if any side by side drag and drop is there. Let's see if they have provided the example. This says yes, no. List. I want to see like how do we see it is drag and drop. This I was talking. See, I'm able to drag and drop the positions from this to over here something like this. Why it is not okay? So like this, what I'm talking about drag and drop. So in Jira also we have a board where we can drag and drop our tickets. So you should be familiar how we do that. So again, drag and drop by using normal JavaScript drag start and drag stop event also you can implement, but that needs some coding. Or you can use libraries also. You can use material or NGX drop is also there. So these are the third party libraries which you can implement and which you can use and implement the drag and drop. Again, server side filtering means filtering. Whenever we talk about table, we display the table information. But on the table, we can add a sorting icon. We can have a text box to filter the data. So whenever we say the table filtering, we can do that in the two ways. Either client side, means on click of sort, we can write the custom code to do the sorting. On search box, we can write the custom code to filter the data. Or they will provide the API also. That is server side filtering, server side filtering. So they will provide the API with the search parameter, sorting and everything. Pagination is also, I forgot pagination. Okay. Sorting and pagination. So they will ask you to create a scenario where you can implement sorting, searching, and pagination. Again, you can use material or AG grade to implement this. By default code is there. But some companies want to check your actual knowledge, like how much code you can write. So they will ask you to do the same thing by your custom code, means client side filtering, or they will provide you the API also and write the same code by using that. So you should be at least familiar with how do you implement. Whenever you are preparing for the interview, make sure all this kind of code you have already ready. So at that time, at least you will remember something and you will start. Correct? Then dashboard design. So what is dashboard design? So let me just show you what I'm talking about. Dashboard. And let me admin template theme forest. I will search for the theme forest and I will tell you like what I'm talking about. Why it is not searching? Let's go over here. Let's open this. Just like this I'm talking about. So some companies want to check your UI knowledge also. We are an Angular developer, but some companies doesn't have separate UI developer to carry out the UI designing. They will ask you to design some dashboard kind of thing. So this is the dashboard, not this. This is the dashboard. They will ask you to create some widgets like this. They will ask you to implement graph, line bar, chart bar, donut graph. There are so many graphs or charts, correct? So they will ask you to design something UI like this. So to do this, if in the dashboard you have a graph or something like this, so you have to use third party libraries. So there are many libraries which we will discuss. So graph implementation or the dashboard widget. Dashboard widget means this kind of thing where we have some icon value, something like this. Just it's just a UI, not a graph or something. It's just a UI with certain look and feel. So this is kind of a dashboard example I'm talking about. They will ask you design something like this. Next, Google Map integration. So now in Angular also there are some application where we need to integrate Google Map. Let's say an application is there where you are going to get the client side location. You will get the geometric location, altitude and what do we say? Google Map coordinates, and that you want to display on the Google Map. So you should be familiar like how do we implement the Google Map marker? How do we implement place searching? Again, Google Map is altogether third party library. There are so many things you can do with Google Map, correct? So that you should be at least Google Map integration you should be aware, like how do we integrate Google Map in Angular. Then coming back to third party libraries. So now when I say third party libraries specific to Angular, so PrimeNG is the top one we use. Then we have NGX Bootstrap, AG Grid, NG Zoro, Material is also there, Syncfusion, Kendo UI. So these are the libraries which we can use in Angular. So they will provide you the task like try to implement the table with AG-Grid or PrimeNG table, NGX Bootstrap. They will ask you to use some of the components from NG-Grid. Kendo UI, Kendo also has the grid. They will ask you to do that. NG0 is a similar thing with PrimeNG. Like in PrimeNG, we have so many components, just like NG0 is also so many components, just like material. Syncfusion also same. So PrimeNG, NG Zoro, and Material and Syncfusion. These three and the PrimeNG. These are a similar kind of component, but AG Grid is limited with table only. Kendo UI is also again limited with. Let me just get it down. AG Grid and Kendo UI. These are all libraries which are focused on table only. Okay, means sorting, filtering, so many things are there, pagination, everything. So for table specific, we have these two libraries. Then component specific. So all these libraries which I have highlighted has so many components from text box, drop down, auto select, searchable drop down. Everything is there, including rich text editor and everything. Okay, so make sure at least you know PrimeNG, Material, NG Zoro, Syncfusion. Some companies will ask it. NGX Bootstrap also you should be familiar. Okay. Then we have graph libraries. Like in Angular, there are certain libraries which are there for Angular. By using those, we can implement graph and the chart. So NGX chart is there. NG2 chart is there. PrimeNG also has the chart. High chart is there. Canvas.js is there. Chart.js is there. And Syncfusion also there. So all these libraries have charts and the graphs. So you should be familiar. If you understand one, if you try to implement the one, remainings are same like that. They will specify you like what kind of object they need, what are the configuration. Well documented sites are there. So you can just go through that. Try to have at least one or two implemented because if your luck is not that good, if you got some advanced scenarios, so you might end up with graphs also. So there is a chance that company will ask you to implement a graph using any of the library. They will provide you the dashboard design. There will be having some graph and the chart. They will ask you to implement. Doesn't matter what library you use. So at least one or two you should be aware. Okay. So that's it. In this video was mainly focused on a lot what machine test and what you should be preparing. I hope you are preparing and my videos are helpful to you considering market situation. Be ready. Don't let any interview go waste, because we are getting very limited opportunities, very limited calls are there in the market. So don't let any interview go waste. So prepare properly, whether it is a JavaScript, Angular, HTML, Bootstrap, material, whatever you are preparing, prepare it with 100%. Okay. Any question should not go well, fail. You should know everything. Okay. So that's it. If you are facing any issue with any machine test, or you got something machine test and you are not getting how to do it, you can always reach out to me on LinkedIn or my WhatsApp. Okay, so I will be surely able to help you. Whatever the knowledge I know, I will help you. Or if I know someone who can help you, I will guide it to you. So that's it. If you are new over here, please do like and subscribe.